Hello there and welcome back to my channel. My name is Casey and I do mostly sewing content here, but I also love thrifting and just generally making things. Also, I want to thank you guys for all of the really great feedback and kind comments that you left on my last video. I was chatting a little bit about wanting to shake up the content a little bit here on the YouTube channel and do some not strictly garment sewing related projects. And you guys seem to be on board with that. One of the things that a lot of you said was that you really enjoy watching me plan and troubleshoot and work through these creative projects. That's great because I love that part of the creative process. I love sharing that here with you guys. So we're definitely on the same page there. And I am going to be doing a 100,000 subscriber Q&A, probably the next video that I do, because by the time I post the next video, I think I'll be at that milestone, which is very exciting. So if you have any questions that you'd like me to answer in that video, just be sure to leave me a comment down below and I might answer your question. I'll probably also answer some other questions that have just kind of come up over and over again over time. But yeah, I'm gonna try to make that a fun little chatty Q&A video for you guys. Since I last saw you, I have started working on a lot of the projects that I put off over the holidays. Last week I put the final touches on the Joni blouse and dress sewing pattern. If you've been here for a little while, you may remember this from a few months ago. I did a video on how to draft a peasant blouse and dress, and then I ended up turning that into kind of like a very basic graded pattern that I released to my Patreon supporters. Well, I have now turned that into a full pattern. I've expanded it with a full set of instructions. I've added a long sleeve. I'm actually wearing it right now. And you can now purchase that pattern on my website. I'll put a link down in the description to that as well. I released a kind of springy, summery blouse and dress project on literally the coldest day of the year in the US, which wasn't ideal for this style of dress and blouse, but I had to get this thing done and move on to the next project. So I've also just been really energized to work on some other projects that I've had on the brain for the last several months. And now that the holiday busyness is over, I do feel like I have a little more space in my brain to focus on some of these other things that I've been excited to work on. Earlier last week, I also worked on a sample for another dress pattern that I've been working on. I've made a couple of samples of this dress and the details need a little work. Like it still isn't quite where I want it to be, but it's getting so much closer. Working on kind of some collar details. I'm trying to decide how I want to do the sleeve. I think I want to have like an elbow length kind of puff sleeve. For this particular sample, I might actually remove the sleeves and just have this be sleeveless. I think it would just look better for the style that I'm going for this particular one. It's kind of a button front. I was kind of playing around with, you know, a little bit shorter sleeve over here. And somehow when I was sewing this skirt, I managed to sew it way too small. So when I'm working on patterns, I have some kind of like slopers on my computer. I'm always kind of like mix and matching the different pieces of patterns together. I think what I did was accidentally used one of my like knit skirt slopers to add to this bodice and it just wasn't big enough. I had to add like 2 little slivers of fabric down the side seam. I had to do this twice because both times it just was not quite enough. So now it has enough ease and I've kind of adjusted the pattern, you know, to reflect that. It doesn't show as much. I mean, you can barely see the little side seam adjustments that I made with that extra fabric. So it's still gonna be wearable, but I have done that trick so many times to fix skirts that are too tight. I do like a slim fit skirt. I'm not a huge fan of like a very like gathered skirt. So I do like it to be kind of a slim fit and I'm trying not to have too much ease in the skirt, but sometimes I can get it a little too tight and then when I'm like sitting down, you know, it's just not as comfortable. But I'm really happy overall with the direction this is going in. This one definitely has some quirks because I've just done a lot of like Frankensteining to this one. I feel like I've got enough sewing experience under my belt to feel pretty confident. I still make a lot of perfectly avoidable mistakes when I'm working on sewing projects. This dress was one of those. It was just like I kept running into little things that I should have, you know, known better going into it. I like to consider myself a very tenacious maker. I try to have a growth mindset instead of a fixed mindset and just try to roll with the punches and, you know, make adjustments as needed. But yeah, I definitely took a few mental health breaks while working on this project. And in addition to that, I just have several other patterns that I've been kind of tinkering around with in my downtime. I have a pants pattern that I've been working on and have made a pretty good sample of that, and I feel like I'm ready to move forward with starting the grading process. I have a couple of other dresses. I've definitely been in a dress era of my life where I want to make dresses all the time. Also a skirt pattern. So I've just been making samples here and there and whenever I need a break from one project, I'll work on another project and just kind of play around with the files on my computer when I'm like watching Friends in the evening. So those are coming along nicely as well. And I would love to get more patterns released this year. Last year I only released 2 patterns, which was fine, but I wanted to get more done. I just kind of lost some steam toward the end of the year. So I'm feeling very energized to get those done this year. And then yesterday, I kind of just wanted to take it easy because I launched the pattern on Monday. Yesterday was Tuesday. So I decided to go to the thrift store. I just planned to go for a few minutes, kind of pop in and pop out really quick and just do a quick little run through. I ended up spending over an hour there. I love this little thrift store, the St. Vincent de Paul thrift store in Lansing, but it's small. It's not a very big store and it's easy to just go in and browse around a little bit. They also just curate the sections so well. So they have like a little home goods section that is just beautifully curated, and they have a lot of really nice stuff in there. I usually don't even buy anything. I like just going and touching the things and looking at them and kind of fantasizing about where I might put them. They have a vintage section that's really nice. They also have a little craft section where they have sewing patterns and fabrics and that kind of thing. So it's a fun little thrift store to go into. And of course they have clothing and furniture and that kind of stuff too. I did see a couple of little side tables that I was really tempted to get because I do need some new side tables for our bedroom, but they were kind of low. So I kind of was second guessing myself. And one of the things that I'll do, if I see something that I really like and I'm kind of on the fence about it, I'll say, okay, I'm gonna practice a little delayed gratification here. And if I'm still thinking about it in a few days, maybe I'll go back, and if it's still there, I'll grab it. I did end up buying a couple of flannel shirts and a couple of like little athletic t-shirts because I wanted to have some clothing to wear that I didn't feel too precious about, because I started taking a ceramics class. I thought about making myself an apron, but the class is tonight, so I kind of ran out of time to make an apron this week. So I got these 2 oversized flannel shirts to wear for my ceramics class. Tonight is my second class of like a 6-week class, and yeah, I'm gonna wear one of my flannel shirts that I thrifted. I also picked up a pair of men's like straight leg jeans. I kind of liked the leg shape, and I couldn't try them on in the store. I figured they probably would need a little bit of alteration in the kind of waist and the crotch. And they actually fit everywhere but the waist. I really liked the leg shape of them, but I was like, you know, I don't really want to fool with doing an alteration on these pants. I really wanted them to be a little bit more high rise. They were kind of like a mid to low rise pants, so I think I am going to redonate those. So yeah, I do like these jeans. I love the boot cut fit because I've kind of been wanting to get some like 90s style boot cut jeans to wear with these black boots. But if you are interested in knowing how to alter the waist of a pair of jeans, I have a video showing how to make a jeans waist bigger and how to make a jeans waist smaller, and I'll link those in the description below this video if that's something you want to learn how to do, because I have shown that here on my channel before. They are just so much more low rise than I really would like them to be closer to my belly button. There are ways that you can change a kind of low rise pair of pants into a higher rise pair of pants. Again, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it on these pants. But these are men's pants. I was actually kind of skeptical that a pair of men's pants might actually fit me. These are a pretty close fit besides the waist. If they were a higher rise waist, I probably would make the effort to make them fit me a little bit better. But anyway, I'm going to redonate them. But on days when I'm not feeling super interested in sewing or making something, I do love to go to the thrift store and just kind of browse around a little bit because it is so relaxing to me. And you can find so many cool things. Even when I don't have anything in particular that I'm looking for, some days I'll go and just browse and I won't even bring anything home, but I do like to go and look. And if you're in Lansing, the St. Vincent de Paul thrift store in REO Town is actually pretty great. I love that one. And I also love the one, there's a thrift store, Volunteers of America, that's across town in like the West Lansing area that is also really great. So those are my 2 that I hit up the most often.